Mixie, and guess what turned up in the post today? That's right, my I Am Kenough Hoodie Ken from the Barbie movie. I pre-ordered him last year and he's finally turned up. And not only does he have this awesome hoodie, he also has the Ryan Gosling Ken face sculpt. So last year, when I ordered him, this was the only doll you could get with this face sculpt. But they have now re-released other Ken dolls with that face sculpt. Now, after my pre-order Weird Barbie didn't turn up, I didn't necessarily have the highest hopes that Mattel Creations was going to send me him. So back in May, I bought myself a backup Ken. This Ken, to be precise. He was on Amazon for £47, which, considering on Mattel Creations he's £72, I swooped him up. I mean, how can you not love that jacket? But it gives me a perfect opportunity to do a bit of compare and contrast these two dolls. So this one was a sort of more premium Ken out of all the ones they released. I mean, just look at it. Look at that coat. It's too amazing. If we just look at the packaging here, we've obviously got the Barbie movie crossed out and big old Ken here. And this is like a really cool sort of black sort of holographic card. On the back, we just have big old Ken. And in general, just quite cool overall. Whereas this Ken, kind of in the standard Barbie movie packaging, and with the kind of standard back that you got on the other sort of Barbie movie dolls. But let's get these boys out the boxes. So here the boys are. And I think these two dolls are actually quite good as a comparison for each other, because they've got some similar items. First up, let's just discuss price. As I said, I paid £47.08 for this doll because he was on sale on Amazon. This Ken was £51 plus the £9 shipping to the UK, making £60. Now both dolls come with stands, and both dolls have certificates of authenticity. This one, I must say, looks a bit nicer. Maybe because this one's a bit more limited edition compared to this one. Now visually, I'm not going to lie, I do like the Ryan Gosling sculpt better. It's just a bit more realistic. This guy's probably a little bit too sort of fake happy doll. If we want to be a bit more specific, see, we've got sort of wide, cheesy, open grin mouth compared to closed mouth. We've got bright blue eyes compared to a sort of more greyish blue. Interestingly, skin tone's a little bit darker on this, a bit more tanned than on this doll. And on this one, we've sort of got more sort of a pointed chin, and the nose, sort of just more sort of texture to it. There's even sort of lines in his eyebrows for added extra detail. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there's quite a lot of sort of marks on his face, but I think that's just because they've gone a bit overkill on the hair gel. I think that'll just wash off. Hair-wise, I think they do have the same colour hair. I don't think there's any difference at all. Both got fringes. This Ken is a bit more at an angle, whereas this one is sort of more at the same length. Sorry, this is really annoying me, this, but it just keeps flapping in his face. They are both wearing bandanas, and interestingly, I assumed these would be exactly the same, but this one looks a sort of darker black almost, and it looks a bit cleaner, the sort of lightning print compared to this one. So yeah, that's interesting. I assumed that would be literally the same. Maybe they are, and this is just a better quality one. It was maybe made at a different sort of run when they were making them. Both dolls do have the same necklace. It's a horseshoe with a horse in the middle. You can just see that there. Now, before we move on to their differences, let's just go a bit further down. They're both wearing the same white shoes, and both have the same black with white and pink lightning print trousers. And then clothing-wise, that's where their similarities end. Right, so man of the hour, the Hoodie I Am Kenough doll. The writing is actually really well embroidered, so that's really nice quality. The hoodie is made of, like, if I was buying a blanket, this would be a really cheap fleece material to buy one in. That's kind of what it reminds me of, like a really sort of cheap fleece blanket that's not sort of properly fluffy fleecy. But I think that does work well for him, for clothing, because it's sort of that bit thinner. Now this hoodie, it does have a pocket at the front. I don't know, it looks a little bit wonky to me. I don't know. Is that just me visually? It looks longer there than there. This hoodie doesn't have any fastenings at all, so you're just going to have to be getting it on and off over his head. And the hood, when it's up, it does go nicely around his head, so I think actually some hoodies, I think, for dolls don't always look good when you put them up, but I actually quite like that. I think it looks alright. Looking just a bit more specifically again at this doll, we do have some long hair, which is going to need to be snipped. It's also really solidly gelled down, so I'd be interested to see after a wash if it goes a bit odd or not. Also, with the bandana, it's got a little plastic tag sort of attaching to his hair, so if you took that off, you'd need to tie it properly to get it back on his head. But moving on, annoying tassel. Ugh, stay down. This doll, he has a leather effect waistcoat with a lot of annoying tassels at the shoulder. He is also wearing some gloves, so it's cut out for the fingers, but the thumb is sewn over. I think the problem is dolls are always difficult to kind of decide how to do gloves in. Oh no, you can peek. You can peek the thumb out if you pull the glove a bit. I don't know if it's meant to do that or if that's just a hole. I think it's a hole because this side doesn't do it. It's just got some fluff. I don't know, I kind of like it if the thumb came out more. I think it would look better. But yes, I'm not a huge fan of doll gloves just because dolls do not have hands that sort of work with gloves, in my opinion. This doll does also come with this bag. Got a painted gold chain detail and the Ken symbol. You know, I don't think I've ever appreciated that Ken symbol is actually pretty cool. Like that's nicely designed to look like lightning. I like that. But this does fasten in the back. You can just easily pop it in and out. But now onto the main event with this doll, the coat. So this spectacular fur coat, obviously fake fur. It comes lined with a horse pattern. It's obviously not lined in the sleeves just because you won't be able to get his arms through properly, a bit bulky. The fur is white with sort of, actually looks a bit greeny colour, the speckles. It's got the collar part here, which doesn't have fur, just so it can probably sit down a little bit better. But let's actually try this on rather than just put it over his shoulders. Well, doesn't he look sensational with that on? Honestly, it was the coat that did it for me with this set. Like, I didn't want to pay full price for this doll, but I kind of put it in my Amazon cart and just waited to see if it ever went down. And like I said, I jumped on it when it did, but I don't know, there's just something about it. It's sort of amazing, kind of, this coat. So clothes-wise, I can't pick between two. Like, I love this coat, but that hoodie's really cool. So I think it's a tie. But if we are going to pick between the two of them, then I'm really sorry, but this Ken, the face sculpt means that I'm probably more likely to add him amongst the rest of my Kens. I like the fact he's got a more realistic face. Step up, Ryan Gosling Ken, because you're the winner. Hooray! One thing though that would have made both of them better if they'd been on made to move bodies. These two guys are just articulated. So we've got head movement, shoulder movement, just one bend at the elbow. We have wrist movement, leg movement but only backwards and forwards, not out the side. We can bend the knee, again just single, and there is no ankle articulation. So better than the really basic like 5 points of articulation, but who doesn't like a made to move? We want fully articulated boys. But you know, we started off today with no Barbie movie Kens, and now we have two. Barbie here gets her pick of the Kens. Although let's face it, we know she's picking the Ryan Gosling sculpt Ken. But anyway, thanks for watching as we did a little compare and contrast between these two Kens. Do let me know, out of the two, which Ken you prefer. And I want to say, big thumbs up for Mattel Creations managing to get him to me, considering Weird Barbie, who knows where she went. I do have another doll on pre-order, which hopefully is coming soon. So fingers crossed the shipping works for that one. But for today, I am obviously happy because he arrived and he's cool and I like him. And that hoodie is amazing. So I'm really pleased. And also, like I said, I have all these dolls that sort of sit around and I sort of wait to do videos. So he's been here since May. So I'm finally glad to sort of free this amazing coat. But anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. If you did like this video, please do hit the thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos, do subscribe. And I'll see you all soon. Bye!